Okay, so when you think about keeping your heart healthy, your mind probably jumps straight to, your heart. Makes sense. But today, we're going to pull back the curtain on a hidden system, a real unsung hero that's, you could argue, even more important for keeping your entire circulatory system running like a well-oiled machine. So let's just start with this, a question to get you thinking. What if the real key to heart health isn't actually your heart at all? What if it's something else entirely? This huge, sprawling network that lines every single blood vessel you have. It's time to meet the real MVP of your cardiovascular system. And here it is. It's called the endothelium. Now, don't let the name fool you. This isn't just some boring, passive lining. It's a massive, super dynamic organ in its own right. Get this. If you could lay it all out flat, it would cover 60,000 miles. That's insane. Its main job? To be the ultimate gatekeeper, controlling, well, everything, from your blood flow to inflammation. It is the command center for keeping your whole vascular system in that perfect state of balance we call homeostasis. So to really get how the endothelium pulls off this magic act, we've got to zoom way, way in. We're talking microscopic level. We're on the hunt for the star of the show, a true miracle molecule that it produces. Right, so deep inside these endothelial cells are millions of these tiny little factories. They're actually enzymes, and they're called eNOS. That's short for endothelial nitric oxide synthesis. And these little guys have one single, incredibly important job: to produce that miracle molecule we're talking about. So how do these eNOS factories actually work? Well, it's a pretty elegant little process. They start with just two basic ingredients, an amino acid you've probably heard of, L-arginine, and plain old oxygen. Then, with a little spark of energy, they kick off a chemical reaction. And the final product? An amazing gas called nitric oxide. This stuff is a super powerful signaling molecule that sends crucial messages all over your body. And the power of just this one molecule? It's absolutely staggering. Nitric oxide is your body's main vasodilator, which is just a sciencey way of saying it tells your blood vessels to chill out, relax, and widen. And that one simple action, it helps regulate your blood pressure, it prevents dangerous blood clots from forming, it dials down inflammation, and it even helps fight off damage. It is without a doubt the single most important molecule for keeping your whole vascular system flexible and healthy. But what happens when this perfectly balanced system starts to break down? This is where our story takes a bit of a dark turn, and we introduce the central problem that can really lead to some serious health issues. The problem has a name: eNOS uncoupling. The best way to think about it is like a major factory malfunction. When the system is under stress, or maybe it's missing a key part, this cofactor called BH4, that eNOS enzyme, it basically breaks. It just stops making all that good, helpful nitric oxide, and it starts churning out something way, way more destructive. And this is the critical point, this complete flip. It's like a Jekyll and Hyde situation. When eNOS is healthy and coupled, it's our hero. It's producing protective nitric oxide. Everything's great. But when it becomes uncoupled, it turns into the villain of our story. It starts pumping out this nasty free radical called superoxide, which creates something called oxidative stress. You can think of that like biological rust, just eating away and damaging the lining of your blood vessels. Now, a problem this tiny doesn't stay tiny for long. It kicks off a really dangerous domino effect that has massive, and I mean massive, consequences for our overall health. And the very first domino that gets knocked over is something called endothelial dysfunction. This is basically the point where your endothelium just can't do its job anymore. It's not making enough nitric oxide, and it becomes a breeding ground for inflammation and clotting. And the science on this is crystal clear. Researchers aren't messing around here. They found that this disruption, it's not a small thing. They literally call it a key event in how atherosclerosis, the dangerous hardening of our arteries, develops and gets worse. So here's what that progression actually looks like. It all starts with really common risk factors, things we all know about, like smoking or a bad diet. Those things cause eNOS to uncouple. That leads directly to endothelial dysfunction. From there, inflammation and that biological rust, oxidative stress, they just take over and start damaging the vessel walls. And over time, that damage leads to plaque buildup, atherosclerosis, which is the root cause of so many problems like high blood pressure, heart disease, you name it. But what's really incredible is that we can actually measure this happening right now. There's a non-invasive test called flow-mediated dilation, or FMD. It uses an ultrasound to literally watch how well the main artery in your arm expands and contracts. It's considered a barometer for cardiovascular health because it gives us a direct, real-time window into how well your endothelium is working. Pretty amazing. Okay, but this is not a one-way street. And that's the good news. This downward spiral is not inevitable. We actually have the power to influence this system and, guide it back toward health. So the goal, the big prize, is to get back to what's called endothelial homeostasis. The best way to picture it is like a constant tug of war happening inside your blood vessels. On one side, you have all the little bits of damage from daily life, and on the other side, you have your body's incredible ability to repair itself. True health is just making sure the repair team is always winning that fight. This is what scientists call vascular competence. Look, when risk factors are high, the scale tips way over toward damage, and our body's repair systems just can't keep up. The whole goal is to flip that script completely. We want to actively lower all the things causing damage, while at the same time boosting our natural ability to repair. And here they are. These are the real-world things that tip those scales. On the one hand, you have stuff like smoking, high blood pressure, and just not moving enough. Those all harm your endothelium. But on the flip side, things like a healthy diet, getting regular exercise, and obviously quitting smoking, those can directly help restore function, boost your nitric oxide production, and bring your whole system back into that beautiful, healthy balance. So, we'll end with a question. And it's not for me, it's for you. When you look at those scales, when you think about your day-to-day, what choices are you making to support this incredible, unsung hero in your body? Is your endothelium in balance?